to learn about the CCNP security also for the CCI security as well. Okay. So let me share my screen and give some ideas. Okay. So guys, before going for the CCI securities, okay. So guys, as Gaurav has explained, we are going to, give you all the knowledge of CCNP and also for the, and then it's going from the CCNP to the CCI as well. Okay. So we are going to discuss all the parts of CCNP and CCIs. So we will start from the very beginning level, and then we will reach out to the advanced level into that. Okay. So till the class, when the session would be end, you would be, have a very good knowledge in the Cisco security products. Okay. So for the CCI security certifications, we have 5 domain here. Okay. So first is perimeter security and intrusion prevention. Second, secure connectivity and segmentations. Infrastructure security, we'll learn about that. And then identity management and information exchange and access control, that is related to the ICE. Okay. And advanced threat protection and content security. So you can see that there are 25% of exam topics are coming from the ICE. Okay. So that is very important topics, is going to be very important. As well, the perimeter security and intrusion prevention and security connectivity and segmentation. These two also are very, very important. Okay, so these 3 are very, very important. Even if you're going for the security examinations, even if you're going for any interview, these 3 topics, actually, if you have a very good knowledge in these 3 topics, that we are going to be crack any interview. Okay, even for the exam topic, you can see that. For clearing the CCI exam, we need 80%. Okay, at least we need 80%, then only we can clear the exam. Anyway, these are covering the 65%, and 15% it is covering from the infrastructure security. And we will also learn about the threat. So guys, currently we have a version 6 of CCI securities, and when I have given CCI, so that time it was running on version 3. I have cleared CCI in 2012. Okay, November. Okay, so then version 5 introduced, and now it's version 6 going on. So guys, we will learn all the topics, okay, one by one, and we'll clear all the doubts. And we're also planning for the boot camp, if that like after this sessions, when if students are going for the CCI security examinations, then we can go for the bootcamp as well. Let's see, there are other parts, guys. For the CCI security examinations and fees, guys, if anyone going for the CCI exam, so then it's required 2 certifications. One is for 350701 core. It's a core technology. It's like a CCNP only. Okay, it's a core CCI security core technologies. That exam we have to give first. That price is $400 plus taxes, and duration is 2 hours. Once we clear that, then only we can able to book the lab exam. Okay, we can book the lab exam like in the India, in Bangalore, Hong Kong, Dubai, in the anywhere. Okay, so daily we can give the exam anywhere. Okay, it's a 8 hours of exam, and the prices is $1,600 plus taxes. Okay, so that was the introduction of the exams. Okay, CCI security exams and the fees, guys. Okay, before going to the topics, guys, could you please let me know how many of you have a knowledge of like the CCNP and CCNP securities and Cisco ASA or FTD? Anyone could please let me know. So I will just get some ideas about yourselves, guys. Anyone?
I know the ASA pretty good.
Okay. Okay, great. So how many years of experience do you have, guys? Richard, in the network security?
Yes, here I have more than 6 years experience in network security. Where ASA and other vendors I was also I have experience.
So Anyone who have done the CCNP security certifications? Any of the exam, any of the core or any of the other exam?
I had a CCNP security a long, long time ago. So I know it's changed since then. So
Exactly. Even yeah, that's changed pretty much because even my number is 37438. That is my number. I have done in exam CCI in the 2012. So that time actually. Anyway, mm, let's go to the what actually we are going to cover in that. Okay, so whatever we have shown. Okay, come to there. So in the perimeter security and intrusion prevention, we are going to cover about all the like from the scratch. We will deploy the Cisco ASA and FTD, and we will we have a lab, and in the lab we will deploy the Cisco ASA from the very scratch, and we will do all the routing parts, security connectivities. Okay, and we will put lots of devices, and then we'll connect to the firewalls, Cisco ASA firewalls, and then like internet. And then we will do all the basic configurations, everything. So we will check there. Okay, so that is going to be take a long time. Well, not, but that would be very, very interesting topic. There we will start learning about the Cisco ASA firewalls and even for the FTD. Okay, what is routed mode? What is transparent mode of the device? Okay, of the SA firewalls. Those things we are going to cover. What is single context? What is multiple context? What is the single context and multiple context? There we are actually going to learn about the in the one firewalls, like we are going to make a virtuals, like we used to say, like we will do the failovers for that. Okay, like active mode. So so those things we are going to learn about the multiple contexts. Like we can create a multiple context in the one firewalls. Okay, and we would have a redundancy for other firewalls. Okay, like firewall 1, firewall 2. Okay, and we will make a redundancy. And if like we will create a in this firewall 1, we would have we would have a 20 context. Okay, so total, suppose we have a 40 context. Context is what? Context is nothing like context is what? Like each context have a different agency, or each context have a different network. Okay, so how we can share the interfaces, how we can allocate the interfaces with all these context, and how we can for the 20 context, guys, context is nothing, it's a two different network. Okay, context is a two different, one context assigned to if you're working in a company who's actually providing the IT services. Okay, so in the IT services, if you're providing the connectivity of one agency, one company, I'm saying one agency, that is means one context. So likewise, if we have if we're giving a services for 40 agency, so we can make them 40 context. Okay, so in the firewall, what we can do in the multiple context, that 20 context would going from the active traffic going from firewall 1, and the other 20 context active traffic going from firewall 2. Those things we are going to know that. Okay, and even for the firewall 1 and for the other, actually that is work as a passive, and other work as an active. So this is active firewall, active passive firewall, what are active standby, what are those things, guys? We are going to learn in the multiple context. That is very, very important. So the first topic is actually where we are going to learn from the very basics, how we can build the lab, how we can build the Cisco from the very scratch and do all the configuration. Even we'll go for the firewall features on Cisco ASA and Cisco FTD. Then we're going to learn about the netting, how we can do the netting, so our users can, if any of the users in your company or employee, if they want to go to the internet, how they are going to the internet. Okay, so because we know the private IP, right? So private IP is not routable into the public, okay, or ISP. So how we can use the NAT configuration, and we can inside users or internal user will access the internet. So those things we are going to learn on the netting. That's actually a little bit big topic, so that is required time to understand, and very interesting one. Application inspection. So there also we are going to learn about how the layer 7 inspection of the firewalls is working, okay, in the ASA and FTD as well. Okay, what are the traffic zones? Those things we are going to learn. Policy based routing, how we can create a policies policy-based routing. It means that is dynamic actually. Okay, so with the help of, we will create a policy and that would work. Okay, how? So those things we are going to learn in the policy-based routing, how we can configure it. Traffic redirection to service module, identify firewall. So everything we are going to learn in that. Okay, in the perimeter security and intrusion. And there also we are going to learn about the security features of Cisco IOS. What is IOS, guys? IOS is like we are working, if you go for that, like in a Palo Alto, if anyone knows about the Palo Alto firewall, they are using PAN. It means the operating system of Palo Alto is called PAN OS. Like in the Cisco, they are using, they are saying IOS, okay? IOS. So operating system of the Cisco is called IOS. There we are going to learn all the application level, zone-based firewall. See, zone-based firewall is actually, not much we are using in the technologies, but yeah, in the firewalls, but we are going to learn zone-based firewalls. Okay, those we will check that. Okay, see that even for the netting also, how we can do that. And for the FMC, this is a Firewall Management Center, how we can get the alerts, logging, reportings. Okay, so this is actually this is the next generation firewalls details. We are going to learn about that in the FMC. Okay, all the reportings, how we can get the reporting, how we can get the logging details. Okay, all the logs, whatever the collecting by the firewalls, how we can create the reports for that, each and every users. Those all information we are going to get here. Okay, inline passive. What is tap mode? Tap mode is also used for the logging. Okay, we will discuss that. Okay, now for the next generation firewall, guys, there we will going to learn about the SSL inspections, how it will do the SSL inspection, user identity, geolocation, how we can use the geolocation and how we can create a policy for the geolocation. What is geolocation? Geolocation means what, guys? Like it's a geographical base, like a world map. If it's a world map, so any of the location, like any country, I'm taking a name like India. Okay, I'm in the India right now. So if you want to block any policy from a particular location, okay, so with the help of geolocation, we can, like with the help of latitude and longitude, we can, if you want to block any policy, if you want to allow any of the rules from that particular locations, we can do that. Those things we will learn about that in the geolocations. Okay, and also we are going to learn about the detect and mitigate common types of attacks. So even we are going to learn about all types of attacks in the part 1 only. Okay, in the domain 1 only. Okay, all attacks, DDoS attack, DOS attack, DDoS attack. Okay, evasive, what is the evasive techniques, IP spoofing, those things we are going to learn, man in the middle attack, botnet, how we can do that. And clustering, just now we have explained, right, multiple contexts. So in the clustering, like or HA, that's a high availability. We are also going to learn about the high availabilities. Okay, in the HS. Guys, can anyone say that anyone have a knowledge of the high availabilities in the Cisco firewall? Anyone have this technology is configured in their offices, in their real time? Any idea?
Yeah, but it's active standby.
Exactly, active standby and active
Yeah.
both.
Mm.
Yeah. So I'm explaining only. We have a 19 people joined there. Let's get idea about yourself, guys. Okay. Okay. So what is if I'll explain that what is high availability, what is clustering, let me give us some brief ideas about this. Okay. So what happened, guys? Earlier, like this is my internet, and then suppose there is my router. I'm just putting one router, and there is my firewall. Okay, and then there is my L2 switch, and there is my local LAN. This is my local LAN office. Okay, this is LAN. So earlier, what happened, guys? If you initiate any traffic to get the internet access, what happened? The traffic would go to the switch, then firewalls, and firewall will forward to the edge router, and then from the edge router it will go to the internet. That's what the traffic is going, guys. Okay. What would happen if this firewall went down? What would happen if this firewall went down? If this firewall went down, we'll see that there would be a network outage. None of any of my user, any of the internal user, were able to access internet. If this firewall went down, because those all are connecting in the inline, if this firewall went down, there's no way the traffic would be forwarded from the firewall because the firewall is down right now, right? So in this kind of scenarios, early we have seen that in the 95, 2000 years, well, not 2000 years, the years of 2000. Okay, so kind of. I'm not taking the year's name, but earlier days, even all of the companies have such kind of scenarios. Even today also. So what would happen? How we can do that? So for protecting our network and from the outage, what would happen? The technology is called CAM, high availability or redundancy. Okay, so what we can do, we can put one more firewalls. Okay, and that like firewall 1 and firewall 2. Okay, and that firewall 1 will be active first. Okay, and other firewall will work as a standby. Okay, and now the traffic is going from the firewall 1 only, okay, to the internet. But if this firewall went down, so what happened? This firewall 1 and firewall 2 are connecting between a link that's called failover link. Okay, that link called failover link, some link. Okay, so they are syncing about each other. Okay, so if this firewall went down, in this failover link, there's some keep alive message going on. Keep alive message is like a ICMP message, okay, ICMP echo message. So he is in each seconds, okay, or in like in 1 second, he will send a multiple times of a heartbeat message. Okay, he will try to ping that if this my peer is available, if this firewall is alive, kind of a keep alive message he will keep sending together. So if this firewall will down, what happened in this failover link? This firewall 2 will forwarding the keep alive message, and he will not get the reply. This firewall 2 will not get a reply from the firewall 1. Why? Because firewall 1 is already down. Then what would happen? Then there is some certain timeouts we would have put into the firewalls, that after 3 ICMP echo message, if this firewall will not reply, what would happen? So then firewall 2 will think that after 3 reply, he will think that he is not replying, it means he's dead. Okay, so my firewall 2 will think that I have sent a 3 ICMP echo message and firewall 1 has not replied, it means he is dead. Something wrong with this firewall, he is dead. What would happen? This is working as a standby. Now he will declare himself as active. Okay, and whatever the traffic going from the firewall 1, now what happened? All traffic start flowing from the firewall 2. Okay, all the traffic start flowing from the firewall 2. Okay, so with this technologies, there would be a no outage into the office. If there is any firewall or any device would down, even there would be a no outage into the network. So that technology is called high availability. Okay. Okay. Someone also used to say redundancy, and someone also used to say failover, whatever it is. Okay, so that's how, guys, the high availability would be there. Okay, so we will discuss the high availability in a very deep method. Okay, so this is active and standby. There is one more method, active. Those things all we will do the lab, and we will test and verify all the communications, okay, into the lab and during the lab. Okay, we'll see that. And then, guys, the next topic, policies and rules for traffic control. Okay, so this is what policies, how we can create a policies, okay, like a security policies. So let's come here, guys. So for the firewall, guys, what is the actual work of firewalls? Anyone can explain what is the actual requirement of firewall, what firewall actually doing actually? So I will give actually a brief idea about the firewalls. Instead of discussing, I want to give brief idea of firewalls. What actually firewall doing? Anyone knows? Anyone just give idea, so we will discuss further. Junaid is saying inspections, not all inspections. Why firewall is required? Okay, so let's go to the, because I have lots of stuffs, but I want to go to some very basics of that. Why firewall is required? So earlier in 1980s, somewhere when all the this network communication was started, okay, in that era, there is no routers even. Okay, there was a switches and hubs, actually hubs. Okay, hubs, bridge. Okay, we know that. So these were there, and all the communication was going through that, between that, and very well it's going through that. Okay, but actually they have some limitation. All the technologies have that actually hub and switches have the limitation, and that would only can be performed. All the data can only can be communicated between the one apartments or one floor kind of stuff. It was there. Okay, only like it's a one building. Only you can communicate between the one building only, because your hub is only putting there in a one apartment. So from the PC1, PC2, if he will forward anything, he will connect to the hub. Okay, and from this hub he will forward to the next hub, and then this particular like hub 1, hub 2, and this hub 2 could be the PC2 connected, and that's how the traffic would be flow into the one apartments or one buildings, whatever, or one office building. Okay, so that was earlier. So then guys, in the mid of 1980s, they have introduced, like Cisco has introduced, the routers. Okay, so what is the use of routers? We all know that routers are actually helping. Router is actually breaking the broadcast domain, and it used to forward the traffic with the help of routing protocols. So with the help of routers, not even the one apartment like earlier, not two apartments can easily communicate each other, and not even the two different offices, two different locations can successfully communicate each other. Even the two different locations, like this router is somewhere, if I'll take example New York, if this one is in New York, okay, and this one is in DC, okay, so even the two different locations, guys, people are sitting like this is a LAN, and even there's a LAN of router 2, is a router 1, this is a router 2. Those can successfully communicate each other. Yeah, we know that, right? With the help of routing protocols, it is successfully done. But guys, what happened? What is the use of firewalls here? If my data, or if the peoples are easily communicating between the even from the two different locations, okay, what is the requirement of firewall, guys? The main requirement of firewall is that in at the beginning of 1990s around, I don't know the actual date, could be 1989, I'm not sure, guys. Okay, that date. What happened at that point of time? Let me explain here. What happened, guys, at that point of time? Like we know that the data is very, very important, right? Even it means forwarding a data is it's required. Okay, but securing a data, okay, like router is helping to forwarding a data, right? Forwarding a data, or it's actually helping for the communication. That is a great thing, I know that. But there is one more thing called, okay, it's securing a data. Okay, securing the data. What is the meaning of securing the data? It means in the 1989 or 1988, the exact date I'm not sure, but that mid of 85, 80 or 19 between, there is a hacker. Okay, there is a hacking has going to be, like stealing of data is going to be started. Like this is in an office, it's an office server. Okay, in any organizations, this is a server, has a very important, data. Okay, very important data. Could be government based, army based, I don't know, could be any of the organizations, banking. Okay, very important data. So for protecting the data, what happened in the 1985s, 1988, that kind of times, people's are, if any hacker from the internet, like this router is connected with the internet, okay, and from this internet there is one PC is connected, like it's a hacker PC. Okay, let's see this. Okay, like it's a hacker, and it's connecting by the internet. This router is the internet, connecting with the internet. Okay, so this hacker coming from the internet, and once he will initiate a request to this server, okay, router is not going to block it. Okay, even we will use the ACL access list at the router based, yeah, but that's a minimum limitation. Okay, hacker can easily break those things, okay, use some manipulations with their software, and he can easily reach out to this server easily, because there is no restrictions into the router. Even in the switch, router simply forwarding the traffic to the server, and hacker is successfully stealing the data, successfully stealing your very, very important data. So for guys, for protecting the data, okay, for protecting the data, scientists or whatever that time in 1985, 90s, they have introduced the firewalls. Okay, so main job is firewall is to protecting the data. This is the main job. What is the main job of firewall? Main job is firewall is to protecting the data. Okay, now come here. So what it does, firewall is kind of a, earlier we would also have a, like a software based firewall as well, but right now not, but you can find. But so like firewall is a software or hardware based, what I'm saying that, okay, just consider on that. Firewall is a software or hardware based. It's a network security product. Okay, network security, because it is securing the network. Okay, it is securing the network. Firewall is a software or hardware based network security product that actually helps to protect from the unauthorized access. Firewall is a network security device which actually helping from unauthorized, preventing from unauthorized access. Okay, what is unauthorized access, guys? Unauthorized access means, like, this is the internet. If you see that, this is a local LAN, this is firewall, this is the internet. In this internet, there is a one user. There is a one user connecting with the internet, and this user is a legitimate, guys. Okay, what is a legitimate? Legitimate means authorized, guys. He's an authorized guy. He has an authority to log in from the internet to this PC. So whenever, if like this this user has an IP of definitely he would have IP of public. So like I'm putting the IP 1.1.1.1. So if this user one, okay, if whenever he want to connect to any of the server of their network, whenever if he initiate the connection, if this connection will come to the firewalls, in the firewalls we will create the set of rules. What we can do? We will create some set of rules at the firewalls. Okay, we will create the set of rules in the firewalls, with that rules actually restricting the users, okay, or protecting the unauthorized access. So in the firewall, we will create some set of rules called policies. That policies actually belongs to either allow the traffic or either block the traffic. These two things we will decide. Either we will allow the traffic, either we will block the traffic. So that is all. If you're allowing the traffic or blocking the traffic, that is all will define accordingly, according to the requirement. Understood? According to the requirement, we can create the policy. So we will see those things once we will start the lab. Okay. So only the how we can get the policies, like only the legitimate user can allow from the firewall and will get the access of this server of any of the PC, right? So that's how we can create the policy. So likewise, if user one is a legitimate guys or authorized people, okay, we have created the policy into the firewalls. Whenever this user with IP 111, he will try to connect to this destination, this server, we will allow that. Okay, we will allow that. So whenever he will come, my firewall will allow it. But if suppose there is a one more user, okay, this is PC2, but he's a hacker, okay, and he's unauthorized guy, okay, he's a hacker, definitely he is not authorized. Okay, whenever he will, like his IP is 2.2.2.2, his IP address of this PC. Whenever he will try to initiate a connection, what would happen once this traffic reach to the firewall will see the source IP, and firewall will see where he want to access, see the destination IP, source IP, destination IP. What firewall will do? Firewall know that firewall will check some set of rules, all the rules, and firewall see that this IP is not allowed. So firewall will block the traffic or drop the traffic. This is the basic way how a firewall is working. Okay, so now guys, whatever I have explained, that you guys came to know that what firewall does. Firewall is a network security device which is actually helping, okay, which actually what it does, which helps the organizations to protect from unauthorized access to their private resource, right? So now we know what is the meaning of firewalls. Guys, can anyone explain what is the firewall now? Now understand what is firewall and what it does? Can anyone explain now what firewall it does actually? Anyone? Guys, no?
Yes, firewall makes
Yeah.
our data secure and prevent the unauthorized user access.
Very good. Firewall, what it does, it will secure our data and it will prevent the unauthorized access. So what we learned today, we learned that what is the working of firewalls and how it does, how it's actually preventing or securing the data with the help of set of rules, right? With the help of set of rules. So we will create the rules, set of rules. That set of rules we also use to say policies. Okay, so we will see how we can configure the policies. Policies is what? What is policies here? Policies is like if we have a one PC here and we have a firewall, and if we have one PC here, suppose PC1, PC2, what is policy I'm explaining? And this PC has IP of 10.1.1.1. This PC has IP of 10.2.2.2, suppose, okay, two different network. So whenever the PC1 want to access PC2, PC1 want to access PC2, if the traffic going through the firewalls, we need to create a policy into the firewall. Simple. We need to create the policy into the firewall. Okay. So what we will create the policy? We will create the policy in the firewall on behalf of source. What is my source IP? Okay. So who want to access? It is PC1. What is the source IP of PC1? 10.1.1.1. Okay. And to whom he want to access? What is my destination IP? Okay. So destination IP, you want to access 10.2.2.2. Okay. Just put that IP 10.2.2.2. Okay. And suppose in which port, we also define the services. Okay. Services means port number. Which port he want to access? So in port number, like he want to access 443. Okay. So that's how we can create the policy. Source IP 10.1.1.1 want to access the destination 10.2.2.2, okay, with the port number 443. And action, what would be my action? I'm writing here. Action would be either allow or block. I will allow it. What I want to allow it. Once you create this policy, some simple policy. What is the source IP? What is the destination IP? What is the port number? And what is the action? Allow. Once you do that, your traffic is successfully passing through and this PC will get the access of this PC2. So this is a simple way we can create the policy into the firewall, and that's how actually it's going to be restrict, okay, and it will going to secure the data. We will see that there are multiple things. This is just basic of a source IP. This is just a basic of how to create a policy. We are going to see a multiple ways, multiple things, VPNs. We are going to learn about the VPNs. We are going to learn about side-to-side VPN, SSL VPN, any connect VPNs, gate VPN even, lots of VPNs, okay, DM VPN. So multiple things, how we can even encrypt that packet, encrypt the data, okay, data encryptions we are going to learn. So guys, these are the basics of the types of types of firewalls. Guys, okay, let me ask, because I don't know, you guys would have a knowledge. Do guys have everyone, guys, anyone have a knowledge of how many types of firewalls, some basic of those things? Okay, if don't know, please do let me know. I will explain that, because that is initially is required. Okay, so do you guys have an idea of all the types of firewalls, or you want to know?
I want to know.
Yes, sir. I want.
Everyone, huh? Okay. Very good. So guys, till now we have learned what is firewall. Okay, what is firewall? We know that. Now we are going to learn what is types of firewall. See there are various types of firewall, but here I'm going to explain 5 or 6 types. Okay. So first is packet filter. What is packet filter? The name is suggesting packet filter. This packet filter is actually like a first firewall. Okay, it's very old method of firewall. Okay, it's an old method. Now no one using packet filter. Okay, but let me explain what is packet filter. Packet filter is the same things like this is my firewall. Okay, and here is one PC, PC1, and there is a one PC2. Okay, PC2, and the IP of PC1 is 10.1.1.1, and IP of PC2 is 10.2.2.2, the same example we have taken. And like PC1 want to access PC2. Okay. So what is actually? So it will check only source IP. Okay. So like which source IP is going to access, that is 10.1.1.1. Okay. Which destination IP this PC1 want to access. Like guys, before going to that, I want to explain one more thing. In firewall, we need one more thing like initiator. Who is initiator? Who is responder? So let me explain here, guys. Like there is a two things. One PC, there is a one more PC. Okay, one and two PC. So guys, always remember a PC or any device who is initiating a connection, who is initiating a connection, that's called initiator. Okay, if you don't know, if no, then very well. If don't know, please understood this, because that is all the time. If I will explain VPNs, if I'll explain anything that is needed, and once this what is that? One PC1 is initiator connection, that's called initiator, and once this PC2 will reply to that, that's called responder. Okay, so there are two kind of things. Always remember, one is initiator, one is responder. Who is initiator? Like if I want to talk to you, like this PC want to talk to this PC2, so whoever initiating a connection, that's called initiator, and whoever responding or replying to that, that's called responder. Like if I'm saying hello, I'm initiating a connection, and you guys will reply to me, hi Manpreet. So it means you are guys a responder. So always remember initiator and responder. Okay, these two things just remember for the basic. Okay, now come. So here guys, PC1 is an initiator who want to initiate. Okay, all the time only PC1 want to initiate, and PC2 will never initiate any traffic. He will only, once he'll get a reply, once he'll get any packet, he will reply to that. He will reply. Okay, that is required actually in the packet filter. Now come guys, the source IP, this PC1 want to access this PC2. The source IP is 10.1.1.1, and destination IP to whom you want to access, the destination IP is 10.2.2.2. And also we have to be defined in the port, in the firewall, we all the time define the services, which services you want to access. Like you want to access port number 443. 443 is using for HTTPS traffic. And what would be my action? Action is allowed. Okay, I have allowed it. Okay, so this is the, once I will create this policy, the firewall will allow it, simply allow it. Okay, but guys, always remember, this is one-way traffic. Okay, that is packet filter, guys. Whatever I'm going to explaining right now, just carefully listen. Once I will allow this one policy, source IP, this destination IP, this port number is allowed. So this is a one-way traffic only allowed. Okay, one, it means initiated the packet that is successfully reached to the PC2. But when PC2 will reply to this, that packet will not cross to the firewall. That packet will not go through the firewall. Why? Because we have to be create one more policy for the return traffic. That is in the packet filter. Okay, not now in the today's generations of the firewalls, we are not doing this, but in the packet filter, earlier days, it's a very old method we are using. Even for the return traffic, we have to be create a second policy. So now, once the policy is coming back, that time now reply coming from the PC2. Okay, so that time source IP, this one is become a source IP. So 10.2.2.2 is become source IP. Now destination is become 10.1.1.1, and port number would be the same port number 443, and action is allowed. Sorry, action. is allowed. So likewise, guys, in earlier days in the packet filter, we have to be created two policy for allow a one successful communication. Okay, first learn that, listen that, guys. What is successful communication? We know that. What is the meaning of successful communication? Once a initiate a packet and it reached to the PC2, and then responder, now it's become a responder. The responder also forward a packet to the PC1. That's two-way communication is actually called a successful communication, right? One successful communication. Okay, it means if only PC1 forward the packet and that is reached to the PC2, it is not a successful communication. That PC2 also reply to that. Whatever the traffic coming from the PC1, it has to be replied. Then only the two-way communication is called successful communication. We know that, right? So that's why, guys, in the packet filter, for a successful communication, we require a two policy. First policy, it means from the source one who is the initiator going to the responder. Okay, that first we need to allow that. Even for the return packet, we need to allow a policy or just opposite policy. That's called a packet filter firewall. This is what the packet filter firewall. Okay, now we will understand better if we understand the stateful firewall. Okay, here I want one thing also mention. Packet filter firewall also used to say stateless. What is stateless? You will understand later. Stateless firewall. In the interview, if you guys face an interview earlier, okay, definitely in the network security, they are going to ask, okay, explain what is the difference between stateful and stateless firewall. Definitely, you would have someone would have gone through that kind of questions. Definitely. Okay, now guys, what is stateful firewall? Once you understand the stateful firewall, okay, your doubt, if there would be any doubt, it would be clear. Guys, we are still using stateful firewall, still, and we will still use in the future as well. Okay, that technologies. What is stateful firewall? Who has introduced these technologies? I will explain later. But just I want to explain what is stateful firewall. Stateful firewall is the same, guys. Like, come here. This is my firewall. I will take the same example. Okay, this is PC1, which IP is 10.1.1.1. Then this firewall in between, and then there is a PC2. This IP is 10.2.2.2. Okay, so like same example, guys. If PC1 want to access PC2, there we have to be only create a one policy, only one policy. What is my source IP? Source IP is 10.1.1.1. What is my destination IP? That is 10.2.2.2. What is my port number? Port number is 443 and action is allowed. Okay, I want to allow this traffic. Only this one policy. So with this policy, whenever PC1 initiate the traffic, it will go through that because this source IP 10.1.1.1 to the destination IP 10.2.2 with the port number 443, action is allowed. Then this traffic will go to the firewall. When PC2 will return the traffic, okay, he will reply to that. When the return traffic coming to the firewall, firewall will simply allow it. There is no new policy required, not required. Why not required? Here I need to explain that. Why? Because this is a stateful features of the firewall. What it does, firewall maintain the state table. Okay, firewall maintain the state table, or also we used to say connection table, state table or connection table. Here firewall maintain the state table. What is the meaning of state table? Whenever any connection go, right? If any connection go through the firewall, firewall will keep the detail of what is the source IP here. He will take a detail of, okay, source IP here is 10.1.1.1. What is the source port here? We know, guys, source port, right? What is the source port here? So source port, guys, like if anyone don't know, source port would be from 0 to 65535. Okay, in between. This is a range of a source port. It could be anything. It's not a range of source port, it's range of all the port. Okay, it's a range of all the port. So like, guys, from if I take a 0 even from 0 to 1023, okay, note it down, guys, if you don't know. From 0 to 1023, these ports are called random ports. Sorry, random ports. And out of 10242655, sorry, guys, what I'm teaching. From 0 to 1023, these ports are called well-known ports. Sorry, guys, huh? I was somewhere else. Well-known port. From 0 to 1023, this is called well-known ports. And from 1023 to 65535, these ports, this range of ports called random ports. Always remember what? Random ports. Random ports, it could be anything. So guys, what happened in the source port? Source port, if I initiate any connection, it will take a one source port would be any of the random port in the range of any of the random ports range. So like it will take a 61132 any. It will take any of the source port on from the random range of ports. It will take any of the port, and that is not much ethical. Okay. Now guys, what is my destination IP? Destination IP, it will choose that where you want to go 10.2.2, 10.2.2.2. Okay, destination IP. And what is the destination port he want to access? Destination port he want to access 443. Okay, so these information, guys. Okay, whenever if any connection go or initiated from the firewall will maintain one state table. In the state table, he will maintain the information of what is the source IP, what is the source port, what is the destination IP, what is the destination port, and then he will also create a one session ID, because once one connection would be built, one session would be built, firewall will create one session ID, any of the number, like 10, any of the session ID number, I don't know. Okay. So he will maintain this state table. So when the return packet is coming, my firewall will think that, okay, it's the same packet coming which is initiated from the inside. Because whenever if return packet is coming, firewall will check the state table and it check that it's a new connection or it's an existing connection, right? I will explain those things from the next class. Okay. So firewall will check that it's a new connection or is the existing connection. So if the reply is coming, firewall will check that, okay, I have the information in the state table with the help of session ID. Okay. He will check that, okay, it is a return packet is coming. With the help of session ID, firewall will identify that. Okay. And then firewall is not going to check any policy. Firewall simply allow that. Okay. So this is the technologies we are using in the stateful, guys. Okay. Firewall maintain the state table, and with the help of the state table, only one policy is enough to one successful communication from the two-way. Okay. So that's what we are using in all firewall nowadays. So guys, if you know the difference between the stateful and stateless, in the stateless, like in the packet filter, if you want a connection of 100 successful communication, okay, 100 successful communication, right? We need to create a 200 policy. If you want 100 successful communication in the packet filter, because for one successful communication, we have to create a 2 policy, right? For 100 successful communication, we have to create a 200 policies. So it is what happened. It is taking a too much memories, too much. It will take a too much computing, right? So that's why it's become very slow. Okay. And here, guys, in the stateful, for 100 successful communication, how many policy we require? Tell me. For 100 successful communication in stateful firewall, how many policy we will create in the stateful firewall? Anyone?
100.
Exactly, 100. Because for one successful communication, we require one policy. For 100, we require 100 policy. So it's very easy. We understood now what is the difference between stateless and stateful firewall. Okay. So guys, that's all for today, guys. Because okay, that's all for today. We will learn. So tomorrow class will start from the 9 a.m. guys. Okay. I will explain everything again, guys. We have some more types of firewall, application level gateway firewalls. I will explain the next generation firewall, guys. Okay. I will also explain the transparent, what is transparent firewall. So these many types of firewall I will explain tomorrow, guys. Okay. These are the vendors of firewalls. They are creating like SonicWall, WatchGuard, Fortinet, Palo Alto, Juniper, StoneSoft, Checkpoint, Cisco. These are the companies are actually creating the manufacturing the firewalls. Okay. So those things, guys. So we will learn tomorrow some other types of firewall, guys. I will explain from the very basic. Okay. And the most important, guys, I will explain the packet flow of firewalls. Okay. How my firewall is forwarding a traffic. Okay. So once there is some set of rules, once we know the packet flow of firewalls, you would now, it means 40% of like, the ideas of, troubleshooting. I would say that troubleshooting of any of the technologies. So 40% your 40 or 50%, if you know the packet flow, you can easily identify where the packet is, how you can troubleshoot that. Okay, so that packet flow firewall is very, very important, guys. Okay, so that I will try to explain tomorrow, guys. Okay, so that's all for today, guys. Okay, if you have any doubt, any question, please do let me know. Okay, please ask me.
I have a question.
Please.
Yeah, please go ahead.
When you talked about the, I guess the objective of the training, right? You mentioned, the 350, I guess it's called, the core exam that you have to take. So you just, how are you guys teaching towards the actual completion of the CCNP security? Because I know it's 2 exams for that, right?
Yeah, SCORE, BPN and all. Also, all the modules we guys are covering.
See that actually see that for qualifying for the exam, yeah, you have to be clear the core exam, right? But here, guys, I'm going to explain all the CCNP, all the CCNP stuffs. Okay, like we are going to learn, as I explained, that we are going to learn all the security policies, all the VPNs technologies, even for the ICE. I'm going to explain. Okay, what are the topics are there for all the CCNP and for the CCIs? We are going to cover everything here, everything. Okay, so it means, like, if you're going through these sessions, you would be prepare yourself for the CCI. You would be prepared yourself for the CCI. So that is enough. What I'm going to explain, that is enough for your CCI examination. But for the I'm talking about the the knowledge of all the topics, I will explain here. But for the lab, actually, the lab, we know that there are some labs for the CCI. Those things will not cover. For I'm talking about the lab of CCI lab, only CCI lab, not for all the topics lab. That we will do. CCI lab, which come into the examination. Okay, that lab practices will done into the what called
Boot camp.
boot camp. Yeah, those things we will cover into the boot camp. There we will do the lab and everything. But here, guys, we will explain all the CCNP and CCI technologies, everything. All the CCNP and CCNP, the CCI syllabus are going to be covered here. I will explain from the very basic to the advanced level. Just like I have just explained the types of firewalls, likewise I'm going to explain everything in the VPNs, in the routing protocols we are using in the Cisco SA, failover, high availabilities, those things, everything we are going to FTD, we are going to cover from the CCNP level to the CC level, or everything going to be covered here.
It almost sounds like you're covering all of the, or the core 35701, right? And then you're covering, briefly talking about each, because I think there's the second part of getting your CCNP security is that you take one of the exams in with one of the topics, right? I think one is specializing in like VPNs, and another exam is for, say, the Cisco ASA, and then as it relates to the CCI security, it sounds like all you're really covering is the CCNP, and that the lab, which is the actual test that you'd have to take to completely have your CCIE, we'd have to take another class, which you guys are calling a boot camp.
Yeah, see that for the CCNP and CCI, for all the classes, we would have, because people that don't know about the VPNs, people that don't know about the firewall, so those things we will cover in the CCNP and CCI classes. Okay, but for if you are for specialized, ready for the CCI lab, those called boot camp. It's hardly a 2 weeks of class. Okay, that's a different. Gaurav, if you want to say something on the lab and those
Yes.
things.
So Richard, basically what we are trying to say that whatever the module, Manpreet, can you show that particular screens again, where all the 6 modules are there? Yeah. So these are all the modules we guys are covering.
Yeah.
And
In
these
this
all
class,
are
yeah.
in the part of CCI also.
Yeah, same.
So SOTO, SCORE, SBPN, FTD, ICE, everything we guys are covering in the technology. So what is the difference between the technology and the lab? In the lab only there is a lab preparations. That's it. As of now, we are discussing small things like let's take example for the BPN. So we have our sessions around 30-35 hours on the BPN example I'm taking. So later on, once we are jumping on the lab, of course, everything is there in that particular one topology. So there is only this is the difference between the technology and the lab. Because if in case you are not familiar with the technology, you are not able to jump on CCI lab directly. So
Exactly. Yeah.
technology we are teaching here.
So, but when we finish this training, we
Yeah.
could go and take any one of these the exams that's
Yes.
related to and obtain the CCNP
Exactly.
security.
Yeah, Richard. Yeah, because we will going to cover all these 6, not one only particular. Okay.
Gotcha.
We are going to complete all these things in these classes. Okay. And but if you want to, especially after this class, if you want to go for a CCI exam, or so for that exam we have a special boot camp, because there we will only prepare, because we know that your concept is okay. You have a very good knowledge in all this CCNP security and CCI security devices and technologies. There only we will prepare for the lab. That's it. That's a hardly 2 weeks of class. Only we will prepare how you can do the exam in the lab, what would happen in 8 hours, how you have to think on that, what kind of labs is coming, how you have to work on it. So those things we will clear in the bootcamp. That's a different thing.
And how long is that boot camp?
Boot camp is around 40 or 45 hours. I can say it's around, if in case it's on the weekdays, it's 2 weeks. Or because see, we cannot say that it's only 1 hour on each day. So if in case we're talking about the lab, we have to spend at least 3 hours in a day. And for the technology, it's around 3 to 4 months time classes.
Okay.
But yes, Richard, there are some people who are already targeting as of now CCNP security. So the S-Core exam is mandatory. So we are covering all, and based on these trainings, you can attempt for any of the exam which is there in CCNP security.
All right. Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So let's
So,
continue.
hi.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Abba.
One quick question. This boot camp is part of this training, or it will be a separate?
No, it's a part of this training.
This part. So basically, we'll cover the CCNP all the modules, and then we'll be jump into the
As of now, we
what
haven't
do you-
taken any payments only for the boot camps, because once we're done with the technology, then only we are going to take a cost for the boot camps. But yes, this in
Okay.
this at the end of this technology, we are going to deliver the lab.
Yeah, but the
Okay.
lab training is additional cost.
Yes, right.
Does that understand that?
Yeah. Thanks, Manpreet. So
I have one question also, please.
yeah, Ajay.
Will we go through the integration of other security technologies like private AMP or TV with FMC?
Manpreet, can you just answer this?
No, I didn't hear well. Can you please come again?
Will we go with other security, Cisco security technologies integration with FMC, like we have private AMP in our premises? So how we will integrate with FMC, and there is ThreadGrid also, Cisco ThreadGrid. So will we cover all these topics in this?
Yeah, we see that we are going to cover all the FTD, and even we are going to cover the Cisco SA. Those things going to whatever the syllabus would cover into all these 6 topics, we are going to cover into that. Okay.
So these technologies will be part of this,
Which one you are saying? Your voice is coming very low.
like Cisco AMP, advanced malware protection is there, private AMP.
Those things we are going to cover. Cisco advanced malware protection, right? We will cover.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.